This is the Night Wolf, howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe, a real American hero, Pythona figure, the Cobrala emissary, part of Super 7's Reaction Plus line. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you will know that I'm not particularly impressed with Super 7's Reaction Plus line. Here's a quick clip of showing where, when I opened up the extensive enterprise version of the Crimson Twins, that the one came pre-broken. And of course, the reason why, as you can see here in the comparison of Snake Eyes' arm to the original toy's arm, and how thin the joint is for the arms. And I don't know if Super 7 has improved that with any of these figures recently. I seriously doubt it, and I'm probably not going to take apart another figure just to find out. However, I did mention that I would likely still buy a few of these figures here and there if they created somebody who I was interested in actually getting. That would be Pythona here, since she wasn't created in the original O-ring figure line. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of her box, where we can see a whole bunch of the other G.I. Joe Reaction Plus figures listed on the back. And I've only picked up a couple of them. Pythona, the Cobra emissary. File name unknown. Primary specialty herald. Secondary specialty assassin. Birthplace unknown. Pythona is the royal messenger of King Globulos and the harbinger of destruction to all that encounter her. She is a highly skilled assassin, and her stealth and infiltration abilities are unequaled. Her kingdom and its cult-like followers have a burning hatred of humanity, believing the world's natural beauty is being destroyed by modern industrialism. This has set her on a path to spearhead its downfall. Prepare for eternity! Let's go ahead and open her up, shall we? She comes with a anti-moisture packet in there. That's kind of funny. I'm wondering if that's because she comes with like the semi-cloth cape here. Alright, so let's take a look at our Pythona figure. And her one accessory, which is the big crystal that she gave to the Dreadnoks in payment for their services. Who cares? She can't really hold it, so... I'm not sure how I feel about the way they painted in the spots here. Like, some spots are painted and some aren't. And I realize that that's probably just to kind of mimic the show a little bit more. But I kind of think maybe they could have used a third color, like a slightly darker pink, or somewhere in between those for those other spots. Her head sculpt actually looks pretty good. The paint looks pretty well done. And because it's a O-ring figure, they didn't need to worry about like the neck with the earrings, so they're just sculpted right onto her neck. Her ponytail here is articulated and can spin around, so it gets out of the way. I kind of feel like in the olden days, there weren't really a whole lot of G.I. Joe figures with ponytails. I don't think they ever did any on any of them. The Baroness being with the only one with long hair, really. I don't know if they would have sculpted it like that back then, but I guess it doesn't really matter today. As far as the articulation goes, she's got that kind of like semi-ball joint hinge thing going on. So she can actually look down, and she can look sideways and down. And turn her head a little bit sideways and a little bit sideways. And that's it. Again, ponytail is articulated. Her arms can hinge up and down and spin around. We do have a bicep cut. And a single joint in the elbow here. No additional articulation at the wrists. Since she is an O-ring figure, she can spin here in the middle, as you can see. Her legs can kind of pull down a bit here. That would be that drop-down hip thing. This is all that stuff that's been recreated with the modern G.I. Joe classified stuff. So we can kick her legs out about this far. You may note, though, once you start doing that, the legs start to split apart at the top. She can kick forward pretty much at a 90 degree. And she can barely kick back at all. Although now it looks like she's kind of walk a tightrope or like on the curb. She can also bend her knees at a 90-degree angle. Her cape here is cloth, and yeah, I guess this is kind of how they probably would have done it back then, just a la Dr. Mindbender, except for, I would say this does have a little flap there, by the way. The inside of it looks like it's printed with this purple. It's not two separate claws sewn together. It's purple added to the black, it looks like. But as I was about to say there, Pythona did have a cloak, though, where Mindbender did just have the cape. So, I don't know. It's hard to tell if G.I. Joe back in the 80s would have, one, given her the cape at all, but two, if they would have gone ahead and made it into a full cloak or not. They are still using the really thin joints here for the arms. They have not improved their process at all. There's that, what I've been calling the hybrid hinge and ball joint on the neck. Just those little two parts act as the hinge. So as far as this figure goes, we took a quick look at the sculpt work. I didn't really make much in line of comments for her body, but let's go ahead and do that now. They did a terrible job on her breasts. Now, when you look at some of the old O-ring figures from G.I. Joe, the women do have boobs. And while she does have kind of a breast area on this figure, she's got the uniboob going on here, which is just, ugh. I hate when they did that on figures in the past. I don't like it now. But yeah, she just basically has one big hump there instead of two separate breasts. I think they really kind of did the same thing with their first appearance cover girl too, if I remember correctly. I don't know why Super 7 isn't doing that good sculpt work there. Like we saw with Classified, they definitely went ahead and did the body properly in that figure. One of the rare times when one of the modern big name toy companies actually gave a more feminine shape to an action figure. And it's sad, too, because the artwork, they definitely have her looking the way she should in the artwork. They just didn't sculpt it into her body. The head is actually really well done. I think they did an amazing job with this one. I even don't mind the hair, although, again, like I said, I doubt the hair would have been curled like that if it had been a figure from the 80s. But I do wonder, they may actually have done a proper cloak for her instead of the, I'm just going to call that the Star Wars cloak, because that's what you saw from Kenner all the time with the first Star Wars figures. Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, even Yoda just had like that kind of style cloak, for lack of a better term for it. And I think Hasbro might have done something a little bit more with that to make it look proper, since, yeah, they did that with Mindbender, but Mindbender just had a plain cape, not a cloak. So the real question is she worth buying? Because you saw what her arm looks like inside. That is a very breakable spot there. But since you're probably buying this just for your collection, and I bet you a lot of people won't even open up the figure. Like if you're buying the Reaction Plus figures just to display on the card, then buy away. It's not a problem, right? It's when you take them out for display that you might have the issues. But if you want to finish off your Cobrala set with her, then go for it. If they make the Cobra Commander before he became the Cobra Commander as part of the Cobrala figures, I might buy that too, to be honest with you. Not the Once a Man version, but like the pre-Cobra Commander version they showed us in the movie. But I'm surprised they haven't done that for a convention exclusive yet for the Classified series. So overall in this figure is that she's alright. If they'd done a better job sculpting the body, I would probably give this a big thumbs up. But since they went ahead and wussed out again on giving a female figure proper boobs, I can't really speak too highly of it. But that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Please let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed watching this review, please feel free to like that smash button. And if you want to hear more of my nonsense in the future, you can subscribe. Who knows? There might be other Reaction Plus figures I buy in the future, although it's going to be rare. I did almost buy their Unmasked Jinx figure, because I saw her on clearance, but I didn't really care for the head sculpt. So anyway, thanks for watching. Peace and love.